For those of you new to my channel, my name is Martin and I started racing when I was 12. In the sim world, I've raced and beaten some of the best drivers in Australia. I worked as a driver and performance engineer in Formula 3 and I developed my own race strategy simulation software for Formula 1. I raced in KZ2 at the highest level and got pole position in my first ever race. I specialize in the open formula category and now have my own course and website where I can share my 20 plus years of driving experience with you, which I'll put a link to in the description below. What's up guys, and welcome to a new series called Track Guides. In this series, the idea is that I take you through all of the tracks in the F1 calendar and I let you know some of the critical features, some things to look out for, how you would want to set up the car and how you would want to drive these types of corners. The more tracks that you see, the more corners that you see, it's just going to build and add on to your experience and you're going to be able to navigate problems better and just become a more complete racing driver. So I'm going to give you tips and information as we go. Recently, I've been doing a few laps around Bahrain in the new game F1 24. So let's jump over to that one and have a look together. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's have a look around the Bahrain circuit together. Where are we? Okay, so this is the final corner. So obviously trying to get the best run possible down this straight and short shifting and traction on the way out. And one of the most important things as you head down the straight is obviously to time your upshifts really nicely. You don't want to over rev or under rev the engine, and try to run the car as close as possible to the road without it actually touching the ground and bottoming out and bumping. As we head into the heavy braking of turn one, you got your breaker boards on the left. I like to run 55 brake balance into this corner and I brake at this curb or maybe just after, and I count my gears down. So I count 6 gears down here and slowly turn the car in and then give it a big armful right at the end and keep the car nice and straight, short shift, and be very patient as the car gets out of here. The DRS line is actually diagonal across here, so I like to steal it early. Because it's diagonal across the track, you can get in there a little bit earlier and open it a little bit earlier. It just gives you a small advantage. And coming into, I think, turn 4 here, using all of the track on entry as much as possible because it is quite grippy over here as well. Even the curb is flat and grippy as well. And as I come into this corner, I click, I think, 4 gears down and I just let the car go through here because it's undulating, it's bumpy, the car's very kind of unsettled, and so I don't like to put any brake or throttle in the middle of that corner. I just leave it, let the car float to the other side, and once I'm out, again, steering wheel straight, short shift my way out of here, and then come into the high speed section or medium high speed. Front left has to touch that curb as you just aggressively turn the car in. Be careful not to hook up with that curb because it can catch the front and throw it around. And on a good day, the exit of this chicane here is flat. Bring the car across to the left here and brake hard into this tight little right-hander and steer very progressively. One thing again I like to do is come right out to the edge here and open up the steering to get some good traction before I bring the car across to the right hand side again, and you can afford to do that. You have the time to do that here. This decreasing radius corner is very important. I like to put the brake balance back to 54 and I try as much as possible to come in wider because it gives me a straighter entry into here and I can carry more speed into the apex of this corner, which is going to make life easier when you go to get on the throttle on the exit. If you carry more speed, more downforce goes with it and you can get your foot down harder on the exit. Again, steering wheel straight, short shifting on the exit. So Bahrain is very much about traction as much as anything. So rear tire life and temperature is very important. We've got another DRS zone here before the next increasing radius corner, and I like to brake after the 100 here on the far right here, as you see. Turn in and again gentle on throttle while you're turning, of course, upshift as much as possible, and we head uphill now. And I like to rev out a lot of gears uphill as much as possible because keeping the revs high just allows the car to pull up this hill a little bit easier. So if you're between 6 and 7 here, try not to shift and just let the engine rev all the way out here as we head into another decreasing radius corner. Again, you can use all the entry. I like to use more engine braking here. So pull the gears back quite aggressively and then turn in as much as possible because engine braking acts a little bit softer than the braking. And so it just pulls the car back in a more progressive way It also helps unload the rear and just get me into that corner nicely. Not much to say about this short little back straight, apart from the fact you've got a similar corner coming up and it runs you onto the main straight. Let's have a look together and see how we get on. There you go, guys. If you have any questions or comments about the Bahrain circuit or the technique or the car setup, drop them in the comments for me below. Cheers.